Selah, 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 Selah.
Thought, is this legit? Is this real? And it is real.
It's not a podcast, it's a Sailor Cast. Sailor Cast.
Selah. It means pause and consider.
With John and Phil.
Look, I'm just saying, you wouldn't want your mom going to this podcast.
Unfortunately, he died in a tragic car crash.
Going from his bedroom to the computer.
My friends, 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 my friends.
Don't look now, because your pizza's about to be burned.
Is it pretty good?
And now for the show.
Document for Catholic Family News at the time. And what struck me the most after reading it was that, I mean, in many ways, it's a very good text, and I think it's included as an appendix to Christus Vincit, if I remember.
Hi there, Renee Ossie of Lowell, Massachusetts, and Catholic apologists is nothing but a vile grift that exploits the teachings of the Catholic Church. I am a faithful, practicing Catholic for decades. I just got out of a meeting for fundraising for our small little urban parochial parish, where we're trying to keep the school going, we keep the parish going, and we're volunteers. And, this is the example that I give of just several years ago. I just posted some photos of my church. Look at the beautiful church on Google Maps. And it's gone like 50,000 views, right? There's no monetary gain. I'm just sharing the goodness of God's love. And then you get this from Keith, 125,000 subscribers. People are willing to donate, tip him money, like $5, so they can have their question answered by this dude here. And if you can see this, guys, I don't know how, he's wearing a ski mask. He's wearing a ski mask, and you can't identify him. We're not allowed to know who he is. And being a Catholic is about being in the community. We don't wear paper bags over our heads when we're talking about our Catholic faith.
Hey, John. How's it going? You there, John? You're muted. We don't wear paper bags on our face. We are not afraid of who we are. Viva! All right, let's keep watching.
Why should I trust you? You could be anybody. I don't know. Why, Keith? Why are you putting this individual on there?
Excuse me. You can trust me. You know who I am.
How much money are you making off grifting off the Catholic faith? I don't have a monetized YouTube channel. But if I finally get to a point where I was monetized, believe me, as somebody who's been unemployed for a very long time, that money would go to my church because I know my church needs it. I know my parochial school needs it. I spent countless hours doing research to help fundraise for our school so we could have a profitable alumni.
Finally, a serious show.
Golf
tournament.
Why don't you want to enter the grift?
Hey, we show our faces here. I'm a FUMO, and he's an Easy Plush.
We don't hide it under bags.
Oh, by the way, Bev Johnster will be joining the show.
Yay!
That's why our show is family friendly.
And welcome, friend of the show, Centipede. Yay! We don't hide behind. Masks. City P, take that masks off, City P.
No, you can't make me.
Yeah, show the FOMO behind the mask.
We refuse.
I love bubblegum.
EV
Tens of
cast.
thousands of dollars. You have a new playground. And you see these shits. This is vile. This is like an embarrassment. Like, if I wasn't a faithful Catholic, I would look at this and just freaking laugh. This is a laughable. You think, how does this convert people? How the heck does this convert people? This is a joke. Catholic apologist is nothing but a joke, guys. And it needs to be, the only way you need to stop it is by stop watching it. Anyways, I love you all.
He's right.
Yeah, watch Sailorcast.
When you're right, you're right.
And when you're wrong, you're kind of right.
Yes.
Right? That's right. Woo! Wait, Layla! Phil, is that music actually from the show?
What's that?
Wait, was that actually Nick Carbongo's editing that music?
This music right here?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Maybe
that's Angela Erickson's introduction for The Ascent.
Oh, man. She's way more creative than friggin' Nick Carbongos.
Nick Carbongos couldn't come up with that in a million years. I think she just got it off some like free thing. Free music, yay!
Hi, welcome back to The Ascent. It's only been like over a year since we last streamed.
Kayla.
And
Classic
it has been
State
exactly
Hello,
3 months.
Selah.
3 months. 3 months. You can go to both of the Nick's YouTube channel. Press the live button. 3 months
since their last. What did she say? A couple weeks, or
yeah, that's how much Angelica does not like seeing him. Every moment she stretches in her mind of not being online with Nick.
She's like, "Wow, these
weeks
3
would
months
seem like months."
weeks."
we are late, and it's 100% my fault. It's all my fault. It's, I'm sure.
Yes,
sure people will be glad to hear a woman admit when she's wrong, or maybe
Are we late or are we early? That's actually the question.
That's a good question. So I told Nick like 7 o'clock because I was expecting my husband to not be home yet, and so in my mind I was like planning for getting dinner on the table for the kids, and then clean up and getting them ready for bed, and then streaming, and then doing bedtime with them afterwards. But he happens to be home.
Yes, Miss Erickson.
I was shifting things around in my tiny little brain, and I forgot
Miss Erickson,
to
that is how I
on
feel.
that. And I was like, "Hey, guess
when
what?
I
We're
have to wash
streaming
all
at 6
dishes for
instead."
John.
So here we are. Except for that, Nick didn't know, which is why we're 10 minutes late because, he had to get on here. So thanks for joining. By the way, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. This should be fun.
Okay, so let's talk about the topic because I threw it out to you. I was like, we should do a stream. We haven't done one in a while.
So
no worries. This should be fun.
Hey.
No worries. This is going to be loads of fun. How about thank you?
Oh. How about dumpsters of fun? Dumpsters of fun.
My tiny little brain couldn't get the right time.
Hey Nick, I'm trying to get you to make a joke, but you're not. I'm gonna keep trying. This reminds me of Hallie and Deutero Comical, remember?
What?
Sorry, too big for you.
Hey, it sounds like fun, Angela. Mm-hmm.
While, especially on the Ascent for Meaning of Catholic, and of course we're streaming to both of our own channels as well. But like, I threw it out to you and was like, what are you thinking would be a good topic? And what were the three or the couple of D's you came up with? The demonic, dating, and then we sort of were throwing around like what might go well with those topics.
Does
You
she
were
date
recently on
Eva?
retreat.
Does she date Eva on Wholesome Awesome Girl Academy?
Wait a
The
minute.
succubus?
Dating and demonic are the same categories.
We would like to say we agree with Nick Kabongos. Dating
Yeah.
is demonic and he loves demons.
Eva!
By the way, Phil, crazy?
But Mrs. Erickson said she's going to show up on our show tonight.
She said.
Yeah.
Yes, she wanted to, but then she said, my tiny little brain wanted
No, Phil. She 100% said she's going to join.
And Nick
Me and
Armangos
Miss Erickson were texting, and Miss Erickson said, I will join, Fumo.
Oh, excellent.
So I sent her the StreamYards.
Nice.
And she'll be absolutely owning Nick. That's what she said.
And had some things kind of come up during your retreat that you felt like, well, you'd like to share more about that.
By the
And
way,
you and I have talked pretty
check
extensively
the,
about the dating culture.
members of the stream, Phil.
Currently,
I hear
that
Selah?
you in particular are facing.
Selah. Is anyone in the StreamYards, Phil?
Miss Erickson.
Guys, we got blocked by Miss
Oh my
Erickson.
God! It's Miss Erickson!
Oh, hello, Miss Erickson. You're looking
they
like
were-
a demon tonight.
Hey, Miss Erickson, they were making fun of you, but I defended you. I
Thank
defended
you.
you.
That's the least you can do.
No, that's the most I can do. Now make me food.
You know, I love that we're watching some of my video. Being able to look at myself is one of my favorite things to do. So,
So what were your thoughts on that? Why did you think like we should talk about this particular topic?
yeah, I think that both the world of courtship and the world of the demonic, unfortunately, are becoming more and more tied together. And I say that just because it's interesting that when you look at it, what takes place is that our society is really utilitarian. This is something that you and I have talked about kind of behind the scenes, but our society is really utilitarian. For people out there in the audience, what that means is our society is kind of geared towards seeking out pleasure and avoiding suffering and pain, right?
This is like the boringest interview.
Mrs. Erickson,
What do you think of this, of what Nick was saying? Were you paying attention or thinking of other things?
I can tell he's reading some sort of paragraph, but I don't know if I'm asleep in this part of the photo. My eyes are open, I suppose.
Yeah. It looks like Miss Erickson saying, it looks like she's saying, have my nails dried yet? What's going on? Is dinner gonna be ready in time?
That's right. Yeah, I look a little And so you can think of that in whatever context you want. You can think of that on the one hand of things like, I don't want to suffer in the context of, going and planting crops. I'd rather go to the grocery store, right? So we build up convenience stores or grocery stores. I don't want to suffer.
We go to
Let's just
Casey's.
say in our own day when it comes to other weird things like commitment. So I'll just date around. I don't want to suffer in the context.
Selah, let's watch suffering.
Oh, there's my trad wife.
Suffering.
The phone, so I'll give a text message. Basically, there's all these weird types of things that we like to avoid when it comes to suffering in our own society. And I thought that ultimately what this does is it actually transforms us to Christ or to how he suffered, even though, again, like Christ's suffering is different than ours. But the point is that we're supposed to take all of it.
Selah, don't sell yourself short, Nick.
Right. So the point of life is to suffer? What? Nick is the most holy man ever. He doesn't have a girlfriend or a career.
And Miss Erickson is suffering right now.
She's also holy.
No,
Yes,
at least
right.
I'm
As
endowed
our-
with special blessings, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Every
all you do
podcaster has
podcasters.
special blessings.
Special graces are bestowed upon you.
Except Nick. Except Nick. Nick prevents himself from receiving them in holiness.
No, I am not worthy of these blessings.
I have to read PDFs. It's my penance against
Personality.
I was doing I was thinking about like because he thinks like by reading it works by people and doing it on the internet it's gonna get him like some kind of like it's gonna make him a saint or something. So I think that the those AI robots that read all those holy books online, they're gonna get to be in heaven too. You know what I'm talking about? Like you'll see like Saint Teresa of Avila, and they'll be like being read by like some AI lady. You know what I'm talking about?
That's why AI prophecy is confirmed. Every AI prophecy I've ever seen is true. Donald Trump will go into the clouds, he will reveal a rainbow, and then he'll come back. It's just you doubters who doubt the truth.
That's right.
That's right.
Example how to suffer, how to suffer well. And so I thought, hey, the subject of suffering, it ties in pretty well with my retreat. We'll
Suffer.
We're going to get to the part where the
both
devil
of them
turns
tie
off his
in
air
with,
conditioning.
courtship and things of that nature.
Is that on there?
So
Yeah.
it's based on the conversation.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you brought up the demonic element, it's something just in general. I've been talking a lot with other people behind the scenes about spiritual warfare. I just actually recorded an interview with Jordan Burke on this topic
Mrs.
of
Erickson,
spiritual
your thoughts on
warfare
Jordan
and
Burke?
even like therapy and things like that, where they overlap,
You know what?
all
I
of
didn't
that kind
fall
of stuff.
asleep, so I'll give it. He gets a 10 out of 10.
Selah.
Wow. Hey, Phil.
Phil, I'm defending Mrs. Erickson from you. You just interrupted her.
Miss Erickson, what makes you interested in demonology so much?
Ooh, you know what? I think it has to do with the AI videos that I've seen. They're just captivating, and Jordan Peterson as well, of course.
Are you sure it isn't Knickerbongo's demon?
That would be terrifying. I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I think I'd get that same glazed over look I have in this video now, though.
Would you grab that banjo and hit him over the head with it?
If I had to, absolutely.
Hey, Miss Erickson, you'd have to pay at least $10 for him to play it, or give it to you.
Or you could hit him over the head for free. He loves it, Miss Erickson.
But I think the demonic influence we sort of overlook in dating culture. At least we acknowledge it in birth control and abortion, all of those things which are tangential to dating culture right now as part of it.
Selah.
But the other aspect, and you
heard Selah.
But you didn't mention pancakes. Tayo, she's hiding the truth from us. Dating culture is 100% about pancakes.
666 ways.
Don't you agree, Miss Erickson, that this Miss Erickson over here is different from this Miss Erickson down here? Because the one down here agrees that pancakes are an essential part of all relationships.
Yes, they are, absolutely. I don't know what came over me. I am so sorry. I hope you'll accept my apology.
But we defend you,
touching on
Miss
it in the stream
Erickson.
that you did is related to the
I only
utilitarian
defend
aspect. A
Christy
lot of
Miles.
dating is
Is someone saying Selah?
No.
centered on what do I get out of it?
Yeah.
And using the other person. I mean, that's kind of the root of dating apps. It really treats people like objects and denigrates them like you're going to swipe right or swipe left based on their utility, perceived utility. And so
Swipe right on me.
that really...
You ever see that movie, Idiocracy?
No, I'm not stupid.
Okay.
I
is
have that.
a demonic thing as well because...
I need to utilize her. Utility.
really inherently to the dignity of the human person is that it's not about our utility for the other, but it's about this act of self-giving in true marital love. That's the goal. And so this perversion that we're
there you go. All right.
Okay, Mrs. Erickson, how much of the dictionary did you read through in that one sentence?
At least the first 4 pages. I would like to pause though. I think we're speaking about utility. Does anyone know what tool Nicholas would be? He's giving like small monkey wrench. Do you know what I mean? Anyone else?
Yeah, the one you get in the pink case for women. Yeah, and you can adjust it. My mother has that.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Universal hex key.
I don't know. He's more of a bolt.
in something as simple as dating.
More of a what?
A bolt. He's the bolt, you know.
Ah.
The hex key goes in it. Anyway, I'm not making that joke.
It screws in the bulbs to the nut.
That's a gay joke.
It really highlights how the mnemonic has come in and influenced this culture in ways that are so subversive that people don't even realize until I think we take time to reflect on it.
Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true.
So
Very,
what
very true,
kind
Mrs.
of when you
Erickson.
went into your retreat, see, this is like turning into an interview. When you went on retreat, what were you going into your retreat thinking about? What was, I think a lot of times when we go into a retreat,
he was thinking about that
like,
email
I'm gonna
I
be
sent
praying
him.
a lot about this particular thing. And sometimes our Lord answers kind of what we're going into the retreat with, that's on our heart, or he reveals to us something completely different that needs to be addressed that we didn't even realize was bubbling under the surface. So what was the case for you?
Yeah, so for people who don't know, I went on a 5-day silent SSPX Ignatian.
Sila, for the 3 people in the world that don't know, I went on a
retreat. And so we had one over at Sanctus Ranch here in Texas, which is a pretty cool Catholic retreat center people can check
You
out.
gone to Sailor Ranch?
You went to Sailor Ranch? That sounds like Sayday Ranch, by the way. Who does that? That's full of MSG.
And what took place, kind of going into it with some interesting things. I went into it because
Ranch.
Basically 3 reasons. One, I wanted to understand Saint Ignatius's spirituality in the context of spiritual warfare better, because I think I was introduced to Ignatian thought in kind of an unhealthy context. I think Ignatian thought is one with all the different, if you will, charisms in the church. Of course, you have to present.
I want to hear Miss Erickson.
It's very, very easy for people
not
to
gonna
just
let
kind
her
of
talk.
pick up some stuff that St. Thomas has said
We love Miss
and
Erickson talk.
divorce it from the rest of what he's talking about, and they kind of become rationalistic, right? This is something where the popes have actually had to come out multiple times and condemn the notion that scholasticism leads to rationalism. And this is because I think that people kind of just pick up rational truths and then they kind of just make the faith just a bunch of rational things, as opposed to recognizing, there's some stuff about faith that we can never put under a microscope, like the Trinity, things like
Yo. That's what Street Thomas Aquatic said. He said, there's some things in theology we can't just put under the microscope, yo.
You know what I'm saying, yo?
That's what he specifically said. On the contrary, yo.
He says, I have receipts, yo. You want to see my confirmation papers?
Phil, show your confirmation.
I can't. I don't have it.
How can we know you're a Catholic then, Phil?
I admit it, I'm a fake.
I can't find that on.
Curious, yeah.
Exactly. There are true and proper mysteries in faith. And what was interesting about this when it came to Ignatius and thought is that in my initial conversion, I had been exposed to kind of just, let's say,
what about the mystery of what Mrs. Erickson was thinking about? What were you thinking about, Miss Erickson?
Look, it looks like she's like thinking about the beach.
Is this true?
I could be somewhere else.
Is this true, Miss Erickson?
Absolutely. I mean, I think my biggest thought was, like, why only 5 days for a silent retreat? Why not for the rest of your life? You know what I mean?
All right.
the colloquial vocational discernment with Saint Ignatius, but it was very, very subjectivistic because a lot of it just was basically things like, look inside yourself and see what you're leaning toward, and it's that
I'm leaning towards pancakes.
can, in a maybe very limited circumstance, maybe help a bit, only a bit, but really it's not that helpful. So I knew that wasn't a good view of St. Ignatius's thoughts. I wanted to actually get a better exposure. That was the first thing. Two, I wanted to participate in kind of the cool sacramental realities that will be taking place in the retreat. So, for instance, one of the things you do is a general confession during the retreat of all the sins of your past life, which is pretty.
The local bishop has declared that all their sacraments are invalid and all of them are excommunicated and outside the church. Okay.
All right, listen to
That's one of the things you do is a general confession during the retreat of all the sins of your past life.
What?
Law, I only do an admiral confession.
Darn it,
Did you hear what he said?
I do admiral confessions.
Did you hear what he said?
For
Yeah,
instance,
she said
one of the
general
things you do is a general confession during the retreat of all the sins of your past life.
Your past life?
He's a Buddhist. He was a flower in his past life and he had many sins.
When I was a grain of sand in a past life, I stood on the shore for millions of years.
One time a man passed by and I reflected the sun so perfectly it burned one cell. I have to repent. Forgive me.
Man, Nick was annoying in his last life too.
I was the comet that destroyed the dinosaurs. Sins of the past life.
Hey, killing the mammoths is a immortal sin.
It is. It's a horrible sin.
They took mammoth steak from us.
Now we can't eat it anymore. Thanks, Nick.
We can't be like Fred Flintstone. That's my favorite documentary series.
Which is pretty good. Everyone should do that. It's very, very good. And then the third one is I had just certain questions that I wanted to wrestle out with God.
Do you think it was very good? I don't know if Nick thinks it was very good.
I think everyone should do it.
It's very good. It's very good.
No, let's get back to the video. He's about to go wrestling with God.
God in particular pertains to this was, Lord, what do you really want to call me toward? What in fact is my vocation? I'm using vocation as a catch-all term in this context.
I'm calling you to be an annoying milk toast moron on the internet.
Hey, Miss Erickson, what do you think Nick is called to?
Something else, to be fair. I mean, he has a job, right?
No.
No, he does. He teaches
he said
7th grade
good
and 8th grade and children the Baltimore Catechism, something which I was able to do when I was in my 9th grade.
That's right. Volunteering is very important. I'm at a job.
No. He has a job. He gets paid in likes.
He said he's paid very well. I mean,
subscriptions?
And he lives at home because he can't afford to live anywhere else. But
he's paid very well.
And he gets Patreon.
And then he gets loans from the government to fund his master's in theology because he's getting paid so well.
I stand corrected.
He's got more debt than money.
Mrs. Erickson, take that.
Stop judging him, Miss Erickson. I'm sorry. Leave Miss Erickson alone. Oh, I just offended you from myself, Miss Erickson.
I know, I might have to leave.
No, we have to defend you.
And so going into the retreat was crazy. This
please,
is where the
not many
crazy
women
story
on the show.
starts.
We need
So
women.
it's about an
Give
hour
us
and a half
some.
drive from my house.
I can't take
I get within like 5 minutes from the retreat center. And, it's Texas. Everything's 107 degrees. And what takes place is that 5 minutes before I hit the retreat center, my air conditioner just shuts off.
What?
And I'm thinking, like, is this, just it blown out or something like
this is preordained.
No. He's going to say this is a demonic attack right now.
I thought it was weird because I just recently changed it, maybe like a year ago. So it wasn't that long ago that it was fixed. And so naturally, as a guy, my reaction is I got to look at this thing, right, to see what's going on. Well, so I pull into the retreat center, get all checked. I plan on going and looking at this sometime during the retreat, right? Just going and taking a look at the truck and seeing if I can figure out what's going on. It was crazy. We had 3 priests that were there. And the preacher who was preaching the whole retreat, right? The main priest, his name is Father Asher. He's an old society.
I know him
priest
well.
that,
He could be a
could
military.
easily pass for a military chaplain. Like,
Yes.
he just knows how to preach to men in particular. He said at the very, very beginning, whatever reason you came for on this retreat, shut it out of your mind completely. No distractions, no nothing. You can't think of anything, but you have to focus in on
No
the
Nick
truth that you're going to
videos.
get this retreat.
This is a
You have to
true
give it your 110% effort. And so that's why we all give up the phones, right? So no use of phones for 5 days. We don't talk to anybody, right? Unless it's an emergency for 5 days. It's just you, the Bible with some meditations, essentially, and that is it, right? And you're going to listen to preaching and go to mass and things like that. So it struck me in that moment, could this be some like weird demonic attack? I mean, it might sound kind of weird, but think about it. It's like my brain is in, I need to fix the car.
This is around the time they kicked you guys out, and that's when I left too. But I think it goes a little further in. I went a little further in.
But seriously, this man is under attack. We need to send him air conditioning right away. Send in the saint of air conditioning to cool this guy's hot jet.
Says Michael Air Conditioner needed.
No, not that guy. No.
He can fix any air conditioner.
No, he can't.
His name.
He one time told me there was another demonic air conditioner attack. When the air conditioning went out at Casey's, Michael Name came to the rescue and said, air conditioning, air conditioning, air conditioning. And it wasn't fixed, but I felt pretty good when it wasn't fixed.
Oh, that's all better then.
Car mode.
Exactly.
And yet now I'm being told, don't think of anything. No distractions, anything. Just focus in on this. So do you want to say anything before I continue the story? Because otherwise I'll rattle.
Say hello.
No, you use your terrible telling stories. Shut up. When
Mrs. Erickson, before you go,
I love that he
we have
goes.
to ask Miss Erickson how demonic her air conditioning has been.
I'm scared, honestly, for him. I mean, it has nothing to do with the fact he's driving like a 1974 like Camaro or something. It's just devil has his hands on him, I think.
Ooh, Nick, I'm taking your air conditioning away. It's like, no. Ha ha ha.
I was thinking, Miss Erickson's like, he's like, so the priest told me, don't think of anything. Do you want to ask me any questions now? It's like, what? You didn't say anything.
You can't ask about the air
No, I
conditioning.
mean, I feel like stuff like that happens a lot for me, especially when I do finally.
Because I live on the earth.
Phil,
right
have you
now.
listened to this? Phil, have you listened to this part yet? Or no?
No,
Did
I
you
haven't.
listen?
I
Oh
listened.
no. Get ready. Because I commented before you left. Oh, why does she have to bring this subject up? It always comes up. So.
Okay. Here we go.
Become more diligent about streaming and things like that. Like anytime I'm going to do something that is even remotely evangelistic in nature, or or working on my prayer life in some way, the enemy just like flares up. I remember the last time I went on retreat. Actually, the only
Did you know every time I open the refrigerator, the devil attacks me and he's like, hey, eat this whole fat yogurt. And I'm like, no, devil, get behind me, Satan. Oh, my hand? No, my hand's going to the spoons. What? No, devil, no, it's in my mouth. No way.
I had the exact opposite problem. I went in looking for a can of Coke. These demon children took them all away before I got to it.
I tried opening a pickle jar and it wouldn't open. The demons are holding down the seal. So I took a knife and I said, "Be gone, Satan!" And I stabbed a hole in it. And that's the price I had to pay to have delicious dill pickles from what brand? Oh, I don't know. And that's when air conditioning and came back and said, air conditioning, air conditioning, air conditioning.
Every time I try to make a sandwich, a demon attacks me.
It's specifically when I'm trying to eat more than I should. Every time the demon attacks me and says, you're fat, stop eating. I'm like, no, demon, no. Saint Glutton, pray for us.
Every morning, a piercing noise wakes me up from my alarm clock. Demon to the alarm clock.
Retreat I've ever been on, because I didn't really know retreats were a thing until after I had started having kids, and it's really hard to obviously leave really young children to go on retreat. So I went on one silent retreat, and at the time I was nursing one of my kiddos, and I forgot something like a breast pump to help me while I was still nursing, and I was in so much pain. It gets very painful if you can't get that.
Why are we talking about breastfeeding again?
That's what my point was. I don't know why the subject always becomes is like, let me breastfeed my kids, and then let me talk about breastfeeding, and Nick, it really hurts, Nick.
No, Nick is like looking down. He's like, don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Just like the silent retreat master said, don't think about anything, Nick. Like, what the hell?
But my boobs are really engorged. You know what I
It's
mean?
perfectly natural.
It's like, what?
Do you know what I mean, Nick? Do you know what I'm saying? You want me to give you an example?
No.
To pray properly the way that I would have liked to, because I was in tremendous pain and like worried about what am I going to do. And then my husband had to drive in with all the kids.
No.
I think we had 4 at the time. No, we had 5. So that was
Why didn't you just
when
ask
I had
Nick
Veronica.
to bring you a
So
bread
5
pump?
kids, and he packed them all up, drove into the cities where I was staying on retreat, and dropped it off one day. And and I felt like the worst wife ever, because I always am like, I'm very forgetful. And so I just like felt really bad and like a burden, all of those things, like those patterns of thought that.
Okay, Miss Erickson, you know the concept of like the gay guy in some girl's friends group that you for some reason bring up gay, like weird woman stuff around, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I was going to answer it.
Do you think Nick fulfills this role perfectly?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Like I can see in my eyes. I'm like, why am I saying this? But like, he's a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's like gay.
You know?
No.
He loves men, and like we love men, so like we talk about the things men love.
He's like a little brother, like a little brother's cousin's brother, baby. Man.
Yeah, just breasts.
You become very accustomed to that become wounds that the enemy likes to attack. He knew I was vulnerable that way, and it took me a while to realize like he is working on those thought patterns trying to prevent me from like getting anything out of this retreat, or like encountering God in a meaningful way. And
oh, there we go. Now we got some wholesome women again.
I think it's like really engorged. Like, check this example of these 2 melons, Nick.
Those are small melons. They're Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like normally, Nick.
Very Christ-like in a lot of ways. Like, he never made me feel bad or anything like that. It was just like he was able to serve me that way. And that was it.
The story
it was
without
really beautiful
mentioning
experience,
that.
even though the first day or so I was really stressing. So anyway, similar kind of thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. What's
it was the demons.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Don't imagine that.
It was the demons that were making my breasts engorged. It was taking away my peace.
No.
crazy about these retreats, at least for us, was we had 2 different, I think it was the first day, 2 different lectures on basically the general format of what the retreat was going to be like. And essentially it was in total like a good 4 hours or so of just being told, focus in on this, focus in
is
on
the
this.
last
You have to
one.
give it your all. You have to give it your
Phil,
all. Things like that.
Selah, this is like when Miss Erickson was reading the breast pump instructional.
All we had to give up our phones. So that took away 5 minutes of me time automatically. Then they gave us breast pump instructions. Then we had a Bible to read.
I'm going on a silent retreat for the rest of this stream.
And then the next 2 days, right? So the Tuesday and the Wednesday, you do your morning prayers with the community. You go to mass, but you don't receive. You actually don't receive communion. And the idea,
Selah, this is where I ended because it was like, it's a meal, Nick. It's a meal. You're refusing to eat the Passover meal, and then they deleted all you guys. So this is where I left.
Yeah.
behind this is that we're
So
kind
from here
of
on out, I don't know what's
looking
going
at
on.
some really tough truths that need to be examined first, and then the
don't
joy
examine
of the
them.
reception of communion can come after these kind of spiritual hurdles that are done, if that makes sense. And so what's interesting about all of this is that the first day, basically, it opens up with the subject of what is the meaning of life, right? It's to know, love, and serve God, and to know God, or to be with God in heaven. Right?
The life
the
of
idea.
Brian. The
And
meaning
what
of-
ends up taking place from all of this is that you see the people's mindset, I think,
Selah,
change.
I can tell him what the meaning of life is. Everything is nothing, basically. Yay!
Oh, does Master
recognize that
Bowser
this-
have nothing to say?
No, he's on a silent retreat. In other words, he had to go pee.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm imagining
at least in the
You know, I was on a silent retreat and I really had to use the restroom. Let me be extremely detailed about this now.
The Mexican didn't clean it properly, and I know this because at the
Let me
inside of the
explain
door,
my
you burn
hernia
it.
to you guys.
No, no.
It was a miracle.
Of an uncomfortable retreat. So we get this first talk, right? What's the purpose of life? You go and you meditate about some truths. We have another talk that's about the right use of creatures. That might sound kind of weird, right? Because we don't speak like that in common English. But what that basically means is all the stuff that's around us, whether it be people or physical objects, how do we rightly use them, right? Not using in an immoral sense, but how do we rightly work with them, interact with them for our salvation? And so we focus in on that. Now, this is what's crazy. The second half of Monday and all of Tuesday, we focus in on death, sin, and hell over and over and over again. And so our preacher kind of...
Does he ever
That's
not focus on death, sin, and hell?
I
Wait, Master Bowser, isn't that just a normal Ignatian retreat?
No,
Doesn't
this
he
is
know?
the super special Texan Ignatian retreat.
You're right,
for
you're right.
only cool
When I-
people who get special blessings from being podcasters.
Yeah, when we read Ignatian retreats, none of them ever have things like this ever.
No, this
They
isn't
just-
your standard retreat.
No,
Oh,
John's
that's what-
Ignatian retreat was totally different.
Yeah, we only talked about like bunnies and lilies and presents and the Bible.
And breast pump instructions.
No!
It reminded me of St. Alphonsus Liguori in the sense that if people have read St. Alphonsus is really good about pulling out all of these quotations from the saints and from the scriptures and linking them together in, kind of a narrative format for the presentation of his sermon topic. And in this case, he didn't do that so much, but he was good when it came to military stories. But he would be talking about like the sufferings of soldiers in prison and all these really dark stories and things like this.
That's just like the suffering I have when Miss Erickson won't stream with me.
What the heck are we watching now?
he just beat into your head, and hell is so much worse. And so it was funny. Basically, all of
No, this is
all of
hell.
Tuesday up until dinner time at 6 o'clock, it's all silent. We're just doing all these meditations slowly on hell. We're thinking about things like, what does hell feel like? What does hell sound like? What does hell look like? What does hell,
Say
what
that.
is the
I bet you hell sounds a lot like Avoiding Babylon show.
It's like Nick is looking in the thesaurus again. He's like,
No.
it's like a thing. It's like an item,
That's
like an object.
That's another sin from his past life. The killing of the thesaurus.
Luckily, we honored Theosaurus Rexes with their own book.
what is it? The smell like, things along this nature.
Ooh.
And it's just really beating into you, because if you think about this, like by dinner time, you've had about 4 hours of mental prayer on hell.
And
right?
you're hungry.
That's a long time, right? To think about hell. And so I remember basically going to dinner, and all of our meals are silent. You just hear a reading, right? Kind of like in a monastery. And I sit down, and the reading for that evening is a letter of a soul in hell. Like, I was hoping to basically have a little bit of reprieve from all of this, but yeah, we hear this private revelation of
Selah.
this soul.
It was so funny.
Hey
I was
guys,
thinking of hell all day, and then we heard about hell, and I was like, "What is going on? This is a joke, right?"
Father, you tell me about hell. Hey, man.
Come on.
Come on.
No way.
I miss Erickson's like, how much longer is this gonna take?
But seriously, Nick, do you know how to tell a story that doesn't involve your feelings? Like, hey, guys, I was doing something objectively good. Let me tell you about how I felt about doing it. Just tell us what it was.
Yeah, sounds like a guy trying to meet word count on something.
He's applying to be Angela's new husband. Annulment time.
It says on Miss Erickson's LinkedIn, not accepting applications. But I know from business practices, remember, guys, to always send your resume anyway.
Thanks be to hell, because we kept talking about hell.
Soul that appeared and told her sister what hell was like and things like that. You know, we're meditating on things like, what are all the graces that you and I refused in our lifetime? You know, all the graces that God gave that we refused. What is all of the times that God gave us chances to repent and yet we didn't? You know, what about the malice of our own sin? Things like this. By Tuesday evening, right, pretty much everybody, including myself, is pretty close to the point of despair, right? I think they tried to...
Man, that was a great joke. Man, I laughed so hard, Mr. Bowser.
We were at the point of despair. This sounds like a great retreat. Very successful.
Yeah.
That is kind of the point of vacation
I even
retreats.
cut my hair. Look at Nick. He even cut his hair. That's how bad it was. He's like those pop stars in the 90s who cut
That's
their
not hair. He painted that on. He
Oh, he's
shaved his
actually
head.
bald? Well, that's more
Master
demonic than I thought.
Bowser. What? Has ZAP gone to an Ignatian retreat?
Yes.
Yeah,
What
he
was
did
it
in
like?
that book. No, he did it in that book. That was named like Gambits or something. That's why he named all of the stuff about St. Ignatius characters.
Yeah, like Captain Rub Sam, the best character ever.
No. That's actually a famous organist who just taught my professor at Franciscan University how to play Bach.
You better off dead. There's a gun in your hand, it's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable. Kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant. In a West End. Running down underground to a dive bar. In a West End town. In a West End town, a dead end world. The East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town, a dead end world. East End boys and
And this, Nick, is what hell is like.
West
Be warned.
You ecclesiastical bully, shut down this dance.
For a reason. And for me, anyway, this is why I told people, if you're super scrupulous, don't go on this retreat. But for me, what helped me is I had to cling on to what I knew to be true, as opposed to what I was feeling. Because what I was feeling.
And isn't Nick very scrupulous? He tells us about it every single week, where he's like, guys,
just
you
every
remember
other
that
episode.
Your sins offend God and they hurt him. Like what I'm doing right now to my wrists. Oh, the heroin does not work anymore. Oh.
Yeah. Like, I remember going on, like, one of these and, like, literally being told by the priest, don't go on another. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Nick is like, oh, yeah, tell me about hell, Father. Oh, man. Oh, I love it. Oh, tell me, what does it smell like? Oh, I can see it.
I'm guessing hell smells like his unbrushed teeth. You know, he looks
That's
like someone
uncalled
lacking.
for, Miss Erickson.
I feel attacked, Miss Erickson. I feel attacked, but I will defend you.
Fine. He uses mouthwash every day.
Yes. And
he swallows it.
He gets it for the alcohol content.
Well, at least we can respect him for that.
It's the only way he can buy it.
There's no way I could ever go to heaven. You know, it's pretty much.
Yeah, he's got an idea.
Sir,
He's
that's
got an
a fake
idea.
idea.
He's got an idea, and they're like, "Yeah, we're still not buying it, sir."
Yeah. I've been here for 5 years, and I showed I was 18. I don't know. A lot of guys look like you. I don't know. Look, my birth certificate.
Wednesday morning.
Hey, that looks a lot like Michael Lawson's birth certificate.
Is it confirmed?
Howdy, everyone. We're going to talk again about hell. All right. We're waking up talking again about hell. And so it's just like it continues.
Welcome to hell.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so by the end of, let's just say, most of the day, by the time the afternoon starts, we finally all of a sudden have a shift. And it is the glory of the cross of Christ, the love of Christ in dying for man. And we have this really, really beautiful meditation and then our general confessions. And so basically what this leads you up to is it wants you to see the horror of sin, but then the beauty of the cross of Christ, right? The realities of hell, but the beauty of the cross of Christ. And so it's funny, it was really cool seeing, I think there's about 30 of us guys, each one of these guys doing, these like 40-minute long confessions about the whole course of their life and things like that. That was pretty amazing. So what makes it special is that on Thursday morning, it's in a way kind of like your first communion. It's your first communion again, once you've decided to make, if you will, a firm resolution to leave this world of sin. And so for the next days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you're
What? I mean, that is what St. Ignatius basically says to treat it as.
What? But he doesn't stop blaspheming God. He went and did an Ignatius retreat in an explicit manner to blaspheme God.
Yes.
He's like, hey,
He's literally condemned by the local ordinary, who he believes is a real bishop.
Hey, AP, if Nick isn't called to be a milquetoast, why air conditioner break?
That is evidence. Evidence he is called by God. The air conditioner, I forgot. Yeah, demons always prove everything. Yep.
If he's not on the right side, why are demons attacking him? Huh?
No,
What's
they would
going
be giving
on?
him donuts like they do in Oh No.
Watch that. You don't believe in the demons? Sounds like you're on the wrong side.
Modernist.
No.
And that reminds me, Salacast will now have a coffee and donuts text chat. So you can experience the real life experience on Salachat.
Pre-blessed sacramental donuts.
And the coffee of Chris.
meditating upon all the mysteries of the Rosary. You're thinking about the whole life of Christ. So on Thursday, about all the joyful mysteries. Friday, right, it's a really sorrowful day. Again, you're thinking about all the sufferings of Christ. And then on Saturday, all the glories of Christ and the resurrection. So it's really well balanced. It's not, even though I emphasized in the beginning of the story a lot about hell, truly it is very, very balanced in the preaching, which is very, very good. And what was cool is that by the end of this, right, I walked out finding out the answers to all three of my questions, which we'll get into if you want. But that's at least the timeline of what took place.
He found out.
Okay, so what were the three questions then that you went into? Because like I know I went into my retreat with like definitely certain things on my heart, and I felt like God showed up in a huge way for me. I feel like some people sort of have mixed experience.
Miss Erickson, why are you babbling?
I have another story about my breast pump, okay?
Like some women that were there during the silent retreat, they really struggled. They really struggled with the silence and feelings of despair, things like that. And I, on the other hand, I was like, man, this is so nice. Like I felt like my soul at that time was such a desert, and finding silence is very hard, obviously, when you have a bunch of little kids.
And I needed the cool rain of a breast pump.
And so I remember I felt so good being in silence. Like I actually kind of am I think I would be considered like an extroverted introvert. Like I love the silence. I love it. And so at one point
that's just like me. Wow, I'm just like Mrs. Erickson, even though the totally not parody one.
Miss Erickson has 5 kids and she enjoys the silence. I wonder why.
That's right. I'm not like other girls.
What the heck? That sounded like another girl.
What?
What? There's 2 Mrs. Erickson?
I was singing quietly to myself because I was so excited and felt like I just loved every second of it. I was like, oh, I can't do that right now. But yeah, I had a great experience. Anyway,
like,
God showed up in a big way for me. But
my depression, Mrs. Erickson, you can't say that. It was terrible. It was terrible.
We're gonna find out the 3 secret questions, guys.
He's like, Bill, Nick, stop. Nick's like, stop, Miss Erickson. I wanted it to be about how sad I got. You can't say this. Stop.
And how does it relate to this overall topic? Because I do want to dive into like why do we keep returning to this topic of like Gen Z dating, marriage, what this looks like? Why is this important that we keep talking about it?
Yeah, so I'll answer the first 2 kind of not as related.
What questions do you have?
So the first one was I wanted to get a better understanding of Ignatius's thought, which I did. I actually got this notebook here.
And I wrote down the entire thing. Thoughts on dating. Of course.
Okay.
You know, as St. Ignatius says, 500 to 1,000 minimum dating app questions. Mrs. Erickson, what's your experience with the 500 to 1,000 people on dating apps?
I've been wonderfully married for too long, but I think he needs a few extra questions. He's not doing enough. That's why he's single.
I'm charitable, but I will defend you.
That's right. Wise words. That's right. Believe women.
These notes from it. And I learned that St. Ignatius's method, it's not subjectivistic. It's very much so rooted in reason. One just has to, I think, apply the principles well. And so without telling you all of the principles, just 2 that really stuck with me. One of them, this will tie into the dating conversation a little bit. But one of the...
Is he actually going to tie this in, or is he just talking about whatever the heck he wanted to talk about anyway? He doesn't really care about poor Miss Alexandrica's Erickson's feelings, and he's just like, hey guys, I turned the camera on.
I'm on Salicast. My name's Nick Carbongos. My question for Nick, so did he go to the Ignatian retreat like, I don't know if this works. Wait, is this objective? Wait a second.
Is this Thomistic? Where's Thomas?
That gives you some credibility. You're not
He's
just
running
like,
away from us.
you're not just like obscure,
Running away.
Nova sort of NFP spiritual dictator, but you actually say something that someone kind of mainstream normal, like Harrison Butker says, which is there's nothing Catholic about, there's nothing natural about Catholic birth control.
Yeah.
Running away.
Any type of propositional statement that comes to you,
yes,
right, that
yes.
disturbs your peace
Mhm.
is not from God.
What?
So what does that mean?
What?
Or in prayer or in discernment, and then all of a sudden you just hear these
She's
statements,
falling asleep on him.
you know, if you don't do this, you will go to hell.
Are you okay,
right? And
Mrs. Erickson?
and what you're thinking about is not actually some matter of salvation, right? So as an example, it could be something like
Law.
a scrupulous soul, you know.
It's not
Nick
saying
doesn't know
anything.
what Nick doesn't know what to do. Look, you're supposed to look at the camera like I'm doing right now and talk, because now I'm addressing the audience. And no, he's not. You know what Nick is doing? He's looking at his notes, and then he looks to the side, and then he looks at and when he looks to the side, he lies. So right now he's lying.
That's right.
No, he's not even making a coherent point.
No, I know I'm not, but
This is just weird.
Ah, Miss
Who's
Erickson.
praying, and then they just hear something like, you know,
And then they say something like, you know,
even though you've gone to confession
even though-
already, it wasn't really valid.
Wait, what?
Wait, he's projecting his scrupulosity again.
Yeah.
Again? We should pray.
When does he
Can
stop?
Can we all hold hands and pray for him?
No.
Okay, never mind.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be
You know what I'm saying? I'm not making any sense. You get it?
a good example for
Oh,
a
yeah.
scrupulous soul.
Right,
Yep.
so true.
And so
I've struggled with that at different periods of my life. Yes. Mhm.
exactly. And so like that's a principle that St. Ignatius looks at.
Miss Erickson, why did you lie? Were you just trying to get the conversation going? Is that what you're trying to do? You're like, yeah. Keep talking.
Yeah, a leading statement always.
Yeah.
That and says that's from what he calls the bad
Very
spirit, right?
wise.
The demonic. This is it could be the bad spirit could be from the world, it could be from the flesh, or from the devil, right? One of those three things. But that's a good example, right? Something that's actually disturbing your peace, that's not rooted in reason, is something that's bad. On the other end of the spectrum, right, one has to look at things like the reality of the good spirit, for instance, maybe like even our guardian angel, who convicts us when we're messing up, right? And so one of the most, I would say, truly like terrifying realities that when it came to the meditations was the recognition that, you know,
Hey, my
especially
mic
people,
isn't
this
even
is
unmuted,
important for all of us
Phil.
to remember, if you're going on committing again and again and again and again and again mortal sin, and you're just
Like
using
a
the
Selah?
confessional as a revolving door.
Selah. Oh, like. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
What's he
Like
talking
the
about?
bongos.
I literally, he's literally has
always,
lost.
always, always, always,
He always is gay. And he would put it on him, and he goes to the left. What?
Why?
You know, the fact that you have that saved is like kind of cringe to me, because it's such
Why?
a terrible little remix.
All right.
Laugh. Quote me on this. Quote. Laugh. Be gay and not grind. The motto. People. Quote me on this. Laugh. Gay. Always grind. Quote me on this. Laugh. Gay. Always grind. Quote me on this. Laugh. Gay. Always grind.
Always.
And deep down, you're not actually making a sincere amendment of life. A sincere amendment of life is proven by your actions, right? So like if you struggle with internet pornography, this means like putting up blockers and getting accountability, right? If you're not doing that, then you're not actually that contrite about it. If you continuously do this over and over.
How about you ignore it?
How about Nick? You stop telling us that when you got blockers and accountability didn't work. Yay!
You really don't need it if you're not watching it. It doesn't like.
Just don't use the computer,
Yeah.
dummy.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I stopped sinning. I didn't go outside anymore.
What?
Oh, what's that? I just
But the
stay in bed all
computer
day.
made me do it.
Oh, I just commit the sin of sloth. It's much better sin to commit.
You know, as a drunk, I made sure I blocked all alcohol stores. When I go to a restaurant, I block out that part of the menu. Yay!
That is truly holy and blessed.
I am Ignatius Retreat King.
Over and over again. Like your guardian angel, he's knocking on the soul of your heart. He's pricking
Is
you
he?
with the pitchfork
Knock,
of conscience,
knock.
if you will. But what?
Who's
Wait
there,
a
Phil?
second. Hold on, wait a second. He said our guardian angel is pricking us with the pitchfork of conscience. When does our guardian angel have a pitchfork?
Oh no!
Weird from
Oh,
a
no.
scrupulous guy saying his conscience has a pitchfork.
I know. A pitchfork comes from the devil. I thought. I don't know.
Scrupulosity comes from holiness.
Now I know his problem.
What happens one day when God says no more?
Oh,
and the angel stops. You've now been given over to it, and you're no
Mhm.
longer even sorry. Right? You're just
So,
going on and on and on.
Man, that's pretty terrible.
What did Nick mean by this?
I don't know.
What
I
does
think
Nick mean by this?
he means like with Pharaoh, where he's like hardened Pharaoh's heart, that kind of thing. But
Yeah,
like,
but why is Nick mentioning it?
I don't know.
We don't know. Master Bowser, it's Jeopardy time. Why is Nick mentioning this?
I'd like to use my lifeline. Miss Erickson, please help me.
I think I fell asleep during this part. I don't know if I have any help. I think he wants to drop some sort of imagery in our minds. It's supposed to draw us to deeper consciousness. You know, think of yourself as a grain of sand or
Would you think
something
you're
else.
conciliar with that? Like conciliar conception of the theology of the conciliar conception?
If I was a beam of light, time would not even move.
Wow.
That's
I'm repeating these sins, and you're no longer even sorry. Right? This is something that's pretty bad.
Miss
right?
Angela, your phone went off
and so
during
this
Kind of
was
goes to the
something-
saying like sin makes you stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like it does because it
Yeah,
deadens
it made me stupid.
deadens the intellect.
And Nick is
and
pretty
our
stupid.
capacity
What's
to-
that mean?
It means that I was going to get married because I was so stupid, and it's because of sin. But now that I don't sin anymore, I don't even look at women. I look at stuffed animals.
I look at Puma.
Sin is so stupid. Take, for example, this interview.
I don't know what I'm talking about. That's right, Candlesticks. You won all the money Salacast has made in Super Chats. That's all $0, but those $0 are special.
$3
$3.
$3 Nathan bucks, which will take about 72 hours to be transferred to your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, it will depreciate in value.
You actually owe us $5.
You'll owe us $5. A native nickel actually is 7 cents, but if you buy something for 5 cents, you get 2 cents. You get a nickel back, and if you do that, you'll be rich forever. The native nickel never fails.
And that's why I always buy lottery scratchers.
Oh,
as soon as I get 'em.
I only use native nickels that are worth 8 cents. And
I
so
pay for everything with lottery scratch offs. I'm like, here you go.
Hey. All right.
That's right.
soul to receive God's grace and to be aware of it. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's completely true. It's something that does make you stupid, and it's something that's fearful if you're given over to it. So learning these things, right? This was an answer from God, right? Learning these discernment things.
And Sadies are stupid, and they sin all day, and they're in heresy, and schism, and apostasy, and in the state of California, and everything they do is stupid. Okay.
Hey, that sounds very specific, Master Bowser.
Yeah.
But
You okay?
But they write
No,
great
it's
books.
really funny that Hallelujah was in the chat as a moderator, and she knows that I'm Michael Naden and Sede Picante. Oh, and it's funny that both of them are banned, but only Sede Picante was spamming the chat. It's almost like Nazi Mod is back at it again.
Oh my gosh, Nazi mod. Ah.
Holocaust-luya.
Holocaust-luya.
I'm back for the serious show.
All right.
The second thing
We're
was just a
watching
good piece
serious
of
content.
conscience for receiving, having all of my sins again, brought forward to the tribunal of
say law.
confession. Right, that was the second thing that was just.
Phil, can I eat a piece of conscience, please?
Bro, no, it's too dry in the desert of her soul. You'll choke.
You know, I had to re-eat all the food of my entire life at my silent retreat. It took a long time.
Really refreshing to see take place, and that's kind of self-evident, right? You come with a mountain of, at least in my case, 27 years worth of stuff, and if you're like me, you can remember quite a bit.
He's 27 years old, and
there's a mountain of sins.
Even in the womb, I was sinning.
He's like he's spitting out sins like that money machine. You see what's on Paul?
What are your sins, Nick?
I hate my mom. I hate my dad. I hate my mom. I hate my dad. I hate my neighbor. I hate my neighbor. I hate my dog. I hate my dog. I hate my dog.
I hate myself. I hate myself.
Oh, I forgot one. Hate my mom again.
But I love Miss Erickson.
That's not a sin if you truly do love her.
Yes, I will defend her on any comment section on YouTube. And then I'll go tell her. And maybe I'll get points. Yay!
5,000 conversion points.
Yeah! Not since that black chick, Candace Owens, converted have we seen so many points earned.
Did you know Monique Davis and Candace Owens are the same person?
No way. Don't sully the name of Monique Davis.
That's right, John. Don't do that.
John.
John.
And so doing it by the book, right, with a priest who actually knows his moral theology helps.
What?
And it's so funny because it's like every time I go to a society priest,
It doesn't matter.
I feel like I'm actually talking to a priest who knows what he's doing. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a trad. I'm saying that just because I'm a moral theologian student and I kind of rate my confessors. I maybe need to make an app one day called like Rate Your Confessor.
What?
That also did that not.
Say law? Wait, didn't he just break the seal of confession?
No. We'll pretend like he did, Master Bowser. Don't worry.
What?
I'm quickly trying to cover up a bad seal of confession joke.
Yeah. We got the Ziploc of confession.
Got a double seal.
That'd be a point of pride a little bit. I mean,
No. It's literally stuff where it's like.
No, I think Miss Erickson is correct here. You have pride. All your confession of your life and everything, and you're still you idiot.
Hey,
you
Phil.
still learn nothing.
Hey, Phil, did you know what the origin of scrupulosity is?
I think it was a board game from the 1920s.
No, Phil, I'll write it out for you. Now make sure you answer this. Like, where the heck is a Sharpie? Man, I can't even do props right. Shut up, John. I'm doing a show. Get my prop ready.
Shut up, John. You're embarrassing us.
That's right. I can't imagine anyone being related to you, John. Ugh.
Well, John's my brother. Don't you know? John Nathan.
I had no idea. Please accept my apology.
No
wonder
wonder
it's
he
not.
has
It's,
Oh, you mean condolences? I have to deal with John every day.
no, we shipped him out because after my mother had 8 boys, she was like, another one? No way. This one goes out.
Hey, Phil, I got the sign. Scrupulosity originates from Interrupt.
Interrupt. Yes, of
That's
course.
right.
I didn't even know it.
That's right.
Interrupt it is.
Interrupt.
It's literally
Can
where
I
I
get
was
it
thinking
at
about this yesterday.
Walmart?
I was like, I think I've had to correct 7 priests and teach them the form. Like,
what?
Let's
Oh
put
my
the
God.
sign up
What?
again. Interrupt.
Interrupt.
Hey,
they've
Father,
not even gotten
you're
I
wrong.
absolve you
Look
correctly.
at that face.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty good. I had to see if I can get that one again.
7 years worth of stuff, and if you're like me, you can remember quite a bit. And so doing it by
Wait,
the
he
book,
remembers
priest
all
who
of his
actually knows
sins?
moral theology helps. And it's so funny because it's like every time I go to a society priest, I feel like I'm actually talking to a priest who knows what he's doing. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a trat. I'm saying that just because I'm a moral theologian student, and I kind of rate my confessors. I maybe need to make an app one day called rate your confessors.
But also,
could-
could that not be a point of pride a little bit? I mean,
No.
Yeah,
It's literally
I guess
stuff
it
where
is,
it's like
but
it's literally where I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, I think I've had to correct 7 priests and teach them the form. Like they've not even gotten I absolve you.
Oh, I missed it.
Just press the greater than less sign back. Oh, look at
Yes.
a screen cap. Okay, I got it. I think. Let's see. Do I got it? Yeah, I got it.
There's a worse one though. Where she's like, "What in the world?" Did I
pride
just
a little
hear?"
bit. I mean,
No.
I
It's
get
literally
the
stuff where it's like
instinct, but like,
it's literally where I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, I think I've had to correct
Wrong side.
the form. Like they've not even got an I absolve you.
Yeah, it's fun.
You correctly, and so I'm like, yeah, maybe I need to make an app called rate your confessor.com.
I like
or
Nick's
something.
he's like, I'm such a bad boy in front of Miss Erickson. Yeah.
By the way, Miss Erickson, I remember my sins when I was a 7-year-old. Let me tell you one more. I was a bad 7-year-old.
I once stole an apple juice from a fellow kindergartner. Yeah, I was bad.
And I says to him, "That's my apple juice."
I belong to a tricycle bike community.
I'm part of a tricycle gang.
We terrorized the neighborhood, Miss Erickson.
One time I drove around on the driveway with vroom,
Are you into bad boys, Miss Erickson?
Yeah, better not be wearing a helmet. That's all I'll say.
Ooh, Miss Erickson.
No helmet necessary. Hit my head many times.
Yeah, that's pretty serious stuff though. On a serious note, it's very good that the priest he goes to know the proper form, because otherwise, I don't know. I don't think I would forgive him for that.
Oh, Miss Erickson. I used to make public disturbances.
I used to cry in the middle of the mall and make everyone uncomfortable. Yeah, I was a bad boy.
oh my,
It's somewhat tongue in cheek, but I mean there is some serious problems out there.
there's no doubt about that.
But how it leads into this third subject, which will lead us into our broader conversation, was the subject of my vocation, asking the question, okay, Lord, I have not had any success.
How long was it from when he was asked directly, "Hey, what are we going to talk about dating for?"
He said, no, that's been 25 minutes. But he said he has 3 questions. He's never got around to any question. It's like word salad everything.
Do you want me to be a priest? Do you want me to be religious?
No.
Do you
Mr. Erickson,
want
is
me
it
just to
true
wait a
that
lot
word
longer?
salad is the
What
best
is
form
it?
of dieting?
Entirely.
What?
I mean, word salads have 0 calories, so I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Why is Miss Erickson like more funny than half of us? We need to kick her off the show. She's exposing us for being hacks.
Frauds.
Entirely. It was really weird. Like the first 2 days, right before the confession, I'm just kind of wrestling with these questions back and forward in my head. And then randomly, out of nowhere, I get these thoughts that I've had for a long time, but I've not thought about in quite a bit. And it's these really strong statements that would start like just crashing in. And it would be statements like, if you don't become a priest, you will go to hell. If you don't become a religious, you will go to hell. If you get married, you will not be.
Is this his air conditioner demon talking to him again?
Like, isn't this like what literally? Wait, no, but seriously, I've also had the same dream.
What?
On the same topic when I was like 16 or 17. Then I went and visited the Norbertines, I Shade Bacante, talking to the hand of Master Bowser. Like, isn't he like old now? Like, isn't he kind of old to be joined to asking this question? Like, hey guys, I'm 27 going on 28. Maybe I want to be a priest. Hey guys, I'm 28 going on 29. Maybe I want to be a priest.
Maybe I
Hey
want to
guys,
be a
it's like
brother.
they want you young so they can form you, because after a
Yeah.
while you become a crusty old bear. Like, what's
Hey.
he talking about?
I took the sock veil.
Oh, it's very pretty.
You now may receive communion.
I took the copper glove for a wrist injury veil. Yeah.
I'm a Muslim.
That is so holy.
Be able to serve God. It was these thoughts that would just like out of nowhere bombarding my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm wrestling with these things, and then I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is literally the propositional thing that he's talking about from the bad spirit. This is nuts. But how do I know? Is this absolutely, let me figure this out. Basically, I'm kind of wrestling back and forth. And so I
I'm
go
wrestling.
you can go and talk to the priest about kind of what you're finding. That's the only context I'm talking. And so I finally went and I talked to a really good priest that's over that's from over in
I'll be
Dickinson.
a priest.
He's out
No,
there.
you won't.
Father Purdy. He's like 6'7".
He
Like,
died
super
for
big.
peace.
Wow,
And
he's a giant. Yeah.
It's kind of a joke with there's a few of you guys from the SSPX in the chat I recognize. You guys can, and you guys can confirm. You guys can confirm for me that it's like the stereotype is that like SSPX priests always have to be like tall and handsome. I don't know what the thing is, but like that. I don't know if that's like an unspoken requirement, but that seems to be what it is.
Why are we fighting
I'm going
with
and
our
I'm
Flumos
talking
again?
with
Because we're
this
wrestling
priest,
with
and I
it.
bring this forward to
Oh,
him.
yeah, okay.
And one of St. Ignatius's discussions is also things
Leave
like,
that girl alone,
when in doubt, at the very
Bowser.
end of, if you've discerned for a really long time, sometimes just think about this question. If you were to talk to yourself, like another version of yourself, right, sitting across from you, with all your faults and habits, weaknesses, tendencies, etc., what advice would you give them?
Selah?
And through talking with the priest, it was very,
Oh, Miss Erickson fell asleep.
What if you
again.
had to talk to yourself and you were yourself that you were talking to? You know, the way you exist now and the way you exist then, with all the everything that makes you you. How would you talk to yourself? Oh, I would think about my vices and my scruples and my sins. What would I say to myself?
Yeah,
Get in
this is
stranger danger from myself.
Ah, running away.
roundabout
The
way
wrong
of
way.
saying looking in a mirror. Am I right or no?
He does that every day. He can't tie his tie without looking in a mirror.
He's the only person he can talk to is smarter than him, right?
Neither can John. Ha!
We hereby divorce John from this family. We annulled it.
Yay!
Imagine, if you will, living in a world where you can actually think about the things you do and change your life.
Crazy.
Imagine.
very clear to
I
me that
can't.
yes, I am indeed not not called to be a priest, not called
Yes,
to be
we know
religious.
because you're a homo.
And so therefore marriage was more or less opened up to me. But how it ties into this crisis is that
Selah.
the reason that at least
Didn't he just come back 3 months ago and say, "Did you know I'm not going to live my life only for marriage"? And then he comes back 3 months later and says, "Hey, did you know I'm not going to live my life only for religious life? I'm going to be married." Like,
wait, what? Did he?
how often does he change his
Master Bowser.
clothes? Yes.
Master Bowser, are you saying
Yes.
Nick is inconsistent day to
No.
day, second to
No.
second?
No.
He said,
No, I'm
I
saying he's
went,
extremely consistent day to day. He's an idiot.
You're right. You're right. He's super consistent. He never contradicts.
he went on a retreat and he met himself and he says, I can't keep this all to me.
So I took the
Based on my
right hand and I said, "No more." So I used my left hand now.
Yay!
I called this stream, I said Gen Z is cooked, is because we're going to go into some stats in just a second. But the problem is that our society, I genuinely believe, is in such a dark state when it comes to dating and marriage that I think that it's going
to the
insane.
dark side. Come to the dark side, Nick.
No, I don't. But didn't he just say that we were in an era of optimism 3 videos ago?
Dark side. Oh, my bad. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Go stick with the paper cutter.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
funny.
it was scaring me.
Love that, like when you're doing the with the box cutter. You got
John confiscated it.
And grace
his
is
mom
God
No more box
to
cutter for
bring
you.
people together. And I say this not because I've not necessarily had success before in the past, but because I see all of these people who I know who are good people who cannot find anybody. And it's not, just one or
Stevie,
two
can you
odd
get some
ducks.
glue?
It's genuinely like I've joked before. It's like I have some
Sarah?
friends who are 6'4", super
Sorry, I'm
handsome.
just sniffing glue.
Have
Hey
some
guys,
glue,
I
Master
know
Bowser.
someone that I think they should be married. Therefore, there's a crisis. Unbelievable.
Yes,
Just say
here you
the
go,
country's not
candlesticks.
married. Therefore, it's a crisis. Delicious. Can I get some more? Can I get some more? I need some more. That's fantastic. Wait, no. No, but didn't Nick just say that he had to discern whether he had to get married?
welcome.
Now he's discerning whether other people have to get married? Like,
You
what's
know-
going on here?
You know why it's dark times for dating?
Why that?
Because nobody wants to date you, Nick. It's only you.
It's only you. It's you.
It's only you. It's you, Christine.
Oh, the Christian Naz is on the loose, and she's hunting for another golden goose. Maybe she can find some drama to get some money with a disposition that is very sunny. Oh, I think that she will talk about weird stuffs. She just can't seem to put down that she has the cuffs of the man who left her behind on the cruise. Christine chugs the wine and just sings all the blues. And it's only Christine. It's solamente Christine. Me importas tú y tú y nadie más que tú. Pollos negros piel canela que me llegan a despertar. Me importas tú y tú, Christine. It's only you. It's you. Oh, Christine, it's you. Everything is Christine. Da 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 da.
Some looking dudes who go to the mass, pray faithfully, try to study their faith, have full-time jobs that pay well, and they can't find anybody. everybody, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. Why you can't find one person?
Shayla?
And I know a lot of ladies on the other.
Did you know women don't make sense? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Like you can be like, "Hey, lady, I am sexy man," and then they're like, "Yeah, whatever." You're like, "Oh wait, no, but I am sexy man," and I do a little dance, and then they don't care.
But Master Bowser, you have your own kingdom.
Yeah, and I also have a harem of dolls that are bigger than me, but they still don't care.
Have too much glue, Candlestick?
Like I was at Franciscan University, right, which is 60% women, 40% men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why aren't you all married? And it's like, oh, only like 5 were. When in my year that I graduated, and it's like, why? Well, because those are the 5 with brains, which means like maybe 58% of them don't. They're not very smart people. You're at an era where you can pick up a man, so just pick him up. Whichever one has the most earning potential and has a good and will get a good job. And it's like, no, we won't do it. It's like, Nick, this has been going on for a long time. This is kind of normal. It's a norm that people don't get married.
Yeah. The only thing abnormal really is contraception. That's about it. I mean, wedlock used to be a thing, but now we don't have wedlock.
Yeah, but I think we just need to arrange marriage summon for Nick. Does Angelica have any children old enough?
Are you sure you want to give someone that much of a penance, said AP?
They'll go to heaven. Isn't that the whole point of marriage?
That's
is to
true,
go to
but
heaven.
will Nick go to heaven?
He's not going to heaven anyway, so what does that matter?
Why doesn't he just get together with Father James Martin? They have a good time.
Other hand
Father
of the
James Martin
spectrum,
is too
they've
agreeable
come
for
to me
you.
and they've been saying, where are all the young men? And it's a mess. So that's why I think it's still worth talking about.
Shayla?
Yeah, it's really interesting because
He's telling 14-year-olds where all the men are. Remember, he does teach 7th and 8th grade. He's said this publicly.
I know.
But he's telling 13 and 14-year-olds, where's all the people?
Yeah, it's a little bizarre to say the
This
least.
is pretty good though.
Okay.
So let's see.
I don't know. People probably don't know this about me, but I have a younger brother that is
really hot.
19. And so I was a teenager when he was born. I'm a millennial. I'm a younger millennial. And he's Gen Z. And watching the way that he is learning how to date and things like that. He was in a long-term relationship while he was in high school, and they broke up sometime over the last year. Anyway, but talking to him about what that's like for him. What's it like to try and start dating again now? That kind of a thing versus the experience that I had as a millennial. I mean, cell phones were just kind of becoming a big deal. Like while I was growing up, but like social media was just starting when I was in high school.
Say loud, Miss Erickson. Why are you ending all your sentences with a question? Social media. We got cell phones.
I was not expecting to be interrupted by Mr. Nicholas there.
Hey, you're supposed to end that with a question.
I didn't mean to end the sentence with a question.
Are you sure?
Whatever.
Back in my day, we had horse-drawn carriages. We didn't have the multi.
I play like baseball.
My husband rides the rodeo.
I fold laundry. I do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Fortunately, all the girls around me were fat. So my husband picked me.
I asked a girl and she was like, do you want to go out? And she was like, yes.
Maybe.
100%.
I'm sorry if you just can't get me.
I was the cheerleader. He was the captain of the football team.
And he was like,
What
go
song is
sleep.
that?
And I was like, okay.
And now I'm talking to you.
My life has really gone downhill.
What do you say, Miss Erickson?
You know, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. We're only 30 minutes in. Like,
You got an hour and 8 minutes more to go.
Don't get to the topic.
I know. What are those last two questions? I'm like not even sure anymore. Have we gotten to any one of them?
Is there a point to life?
God is real.
Alphonsus Ligori?
I tried to do my ministry here on YouTube, and then I get this demonic prick.
Demonic carbonga.
I'm just here for the special graces. Like, what?
I don't know. YouTube podcasters have special grades.
Do we want to actually stop the episode here so that we
Yeah.
actually never get to anything he says?
Oh, yes.
That'd be a good
Anyway.
idea.
All right, play the conclusion, Phil.
What is the conclusion? Oh, I'll do my friends for the conclusion.
Yeah.
Friends? The greatest song ever made.
This is abundant hypocrisy.
Bye, everybody.
This is abundant
Yeah.
hypocrisy.
I mean,
How can we
yeah.
look
Thank you,
at
Miss
this and say
Miss
that
Erickson,
this
for
state
joining the
right here
show.
is a Catholic state?
Thank you, everyone, for
We
watching.
cannot, my friends, say, and here's
Bye bye.